What do you feel about the culture and how it affects the community? The culture is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how does that in turn affect the community?
I'd say,
There's good things in that thing, but
yeah, I agree. Sometimes I look at our culture as a uniform, for a lot of things. I think it possesses a standard on how people should live their lives, like the music they should ingest, the entertainment that they should ingest, the way they move about themselves, the way they go about, moving in this society, um, who they should vote for, all that. So I do feel like it's a good starting point for a lot of people to like gain bearings and to get a feel of what's going on. I think it should be protected, and we really shouldn't be as, I don't want to say we shouldn't be as open, but I don't think we should be as open to always lean back on the culture at this point when we know some parts of the culture needs change. And to me, I think some of that change looks like being able to incorporate more identity from the diaspora so that we can have better representation for folks, because not everybody's into the same thing. Not everybody's into, like hip hop. Not everybody's into like the same type of music. There's so many different types of sub genres of music that people make that just don't get represented. But I would say I do like how it's evolved, especially in being able to carry a vibration to help people understand, the things that do go on. But there are times where I feel like a lot of accountability has to be taken that we just overlook, especially from, celebrities, politicians, just people in those positions to influence.
Seats.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to affect the community without the culture? Back then, I don't think so many people were like civil rights movements. They weren't really popular. They just were voices.
I'd say this. I think we're definitely in a time where we have a system that a lot of people follow that deals with influence. In the same breath, I feel like that influence can only go so far depending on what that person does. So say, for instance, what I mean by that, like you'll see somebody who maybe it's like a rapper, kind of like the standard rapper, on some Boosie Badass type shit, and then they'll try to turn around and make some plays in the community, and then they'll catch flack, for it. So
you think it's because of the history of said artists, as far as the flag?
I don't want to say promotion, but I think it's the depiction of the way of life, and it's the relationship to that way of life that when it's put into that medium, and when you just have it as raw as it is, it affects people, in a certain way. And not to say that it's good or bad, but I think if people, want to make the music that they make and want to serve the community, depending on how bad they want it, they'll do it, and I think that's the testament. Everybody's, not going to like your moves all the time, but what counts is whenever you do show up and you make that impact consistently, people won't have much to fight you on because the work is there. I'd say this. I think as much as people like you and me can compartmentalize and enjoy, those songs for what they bring and what they are, there are some people who feel like, certain artists who are ingrained into this environment are representatives for them, the way that they feel, the way that they move from like day to day. So, you'll get a prominent artist around the area and, just getting their shit off. And the song could be so good, but it's almost like a double-edged sword to where, like you're able to gain some type of catharsis being able to tell your story. But in the same vein, it's because your story is so felt that now the person listening is, their belief is there because they can feel the things that you go through. They've had similar moments. We're in this, in the same environment. So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's just that. But I feel like as much as we can pour into that type of dynamic, we should allow as much space to listen. We should use that as a tool. We can use that as a platform to say, okay, we have this, we love this. There's pride here. This is part of our identity. What else can we listen to that might just sound different from this? And I think things will start to change. But I know everybody has their own way of navigating that, you know?
What is the current goal of the music you make?
To be able to help people gain some type of groundedness, you know, throughout, you know, through this experience that we're all kind of seeing, and to confirm to people that, oh yeah, you're not crazy. Like, a lot is happening in the world. It's a lot going on. We're in a lot of abnormal conditions, and sometimes you just want people to reaffirm, you know, like, what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, what you're going through isn't just an isolated event. And I find that a lot in conversation. So I just figured, oh, okay, well, if the music takes a vein similar to this one, then the feeling would be there, you know, because I know how I feel whenever you have a conversation of just some things happening, and then somebody chimes in and it's just like, oh yeah, you went through that too? And y'all are able to just, like, you know, build on those phases and those modes that y'all went through in that, you know, situation, where it's like, oh, okay, you know, so it kind of breaks the ice and opens, you know, a gateway to be able to just figure out some more stuff. Yeah. I'd say personally now, I feel I have that same, I carry that same weight, but I feel like I've been challenged to make it more personal, and so it can be more felt. So just finding ways to challenge myself, and challenge, like, my own beliefs and my own ideas about things, and not to, you know, do anything fancy, but more so to say, like, in order to better become a vessel to, you know, articulate these ideas through and through, just being able to disassociate from those things after navigating those events and thoughts and feelings, to be able to present in a way that can help somebody else process something they might be struggling with.
Thanks, I can beat that. What are you currently working on, and what do you seek to gain from it?
Currently, I'd say, just like creative-wise,
or if you know, with the movie stuff and things like that.
Currently, yeah, still in the acting realm, picking up gigs here and there. I feel like what I aim to accomplish with that is really just a chance to network and meet more people, and to open more opportunities, you know, to everybody involved. And that's the thing too. I was just telling a lot of people about this, but because I put a call out on my Instagram saying, you know, about, like, opportunities. But the coolest thing that I've noticed while I've been on set is it's people who have not similar like taste in music and art, but people who come from, like, similar ways of thinking, and people who are open enough to share as well as to receive in a way that maybe everyday normal person would be like, you know, I don't know about that. You know, that's crazy. You know, the conversation doesn't have as much judgment, and we can talk about things like the current state of the world without and share, you know, opposing viewpoints, or, you know, different things without people getting triggered, or, you know, just being able to not just learn about that person and where they come from, but, you know, the influences that they carry that, you know, make them think certain ways. So I'd say that's been my personal goal, you know, in those spaces, is really just to network as much as I can, because there are also people who, even though they're actors for that day, extras for that day, there's a lot of people who are working on their own projects, writing scripts, who are actors themselves, looking for ways to, you know, break into certain industries. So, you know, it's a lot of work to be done. I just met a voice actor who like went to school for illustration, and he does voice acting full time, so he's always in the arts. But Yeah. I'd say that's the current objective now. As far as the music, really to achieve that catharsis and to be able to um, just help people along the way and just to make an impact.
Yeah. All right. Got any? Let me see. Any plugins and final thoughts or what have you?
I will say this: it's a great time to create. It's a great time to build community, especially in Baton Rouge. We've come a long way. I know this is like the 10-year mark since 2016, but we've been on the scene for a long time to, create and build community. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to commemorate that decade of just being active, because it takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of effort to create something entirely new that a lot of people really aren't familiar with. But for us to be so much a believer within ourselves and within others, recognition is due, and we just have to create that ourselves, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that it's any less valuable, but like for us. So when people can say, "Oh, how was the music scene like?" Back in the day when it's like 2040 or 2050, we can say, "Oh, these artists were around," and I think we are transmuting these experiences more into a zeitgeist to say, okay, like this was an official time, like this actually happened, or else it would just be a whole bunch of people, from that time, from this time, who just have stories, which is fine. But I feel like the things that we make and that we made are so potent that we have to make a document. We have to record this, So that being said, we got a big festival coming, May 30th, Golden Era Music Festival. Come out. Me and a whole bunch of artists are collaborating, and I promise, like, I've been getting my ass whooped learning new systems, learning new things on how to, structure this properly. But it's a labor of love, and I don't mind doing it because we deserve it. We deserve it. So, with that being said, just be on the lookout, and just stay tuned because we got a lot of things coming. And hopefully, if you are an artist, we'd love to have you involved in some type of way to make this event a success. And just to come out, have fun, and just come get your flowers.
Yeah. Any shout outs?
Shout out everybody. Shout out the world, the universe. Shout out CRT. You know what I'm saying? Because he's definitely been on the scene. Shout out So Gnarly Gang. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, without them, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, yo.
Honestly, y'all need a documentary. Y'all need a documentary.
That'd be one for the ages. I've been talking about it. I've been speaking to a couple individuals about maybe like a reunion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put a show on or something like that.
Something, man. So Gnarly Gang. Shout out Uncle Soul. Shout out Brandon Paris. Shout out Flood. Shout out Rocket. Shout out Neighborhood Indigo. Shout out the whole Baton Rouge scene. Shout out everybody who's doing it big. We got a lot of work to do still. So keep fighting the good fight.